Hello and very warm welcome to Rajya Sabha TV. You're watching Question Hour. Now, it's a show that talks about parliamentary proceedings of questions asked by the members in the upper house and replies given by the ministries and various departments. I'm host Rajat Kain, joined by my colleague Kriti Mishra.
Thank you so much, Rajat, and we hope that all our viewers are keeping well and adhering to the social distancing norms.
Well, it's absolutely necessary in the times of this pandemic. Also important is the parliamentary proceedings and what is happening in the interest of the nation and also common ordinary citizens. Now, here in the show we emphasize on the unstarred questions, or to say of questions asked by members in the upper house. Now, there are broadly three categories of questions: starred, unstarred and the short notice questions. Starred questions are the ones where answers are directly replied by the ministries and the departments on the floor of the house.
Whereas unstarred questions are those questions of which replies are given in the written format. And this show of ours will focus on all the important unstarred questions asked by the members of the upper house in the last session of Parliament. So Rajat, let's begin the show.
Well, the first question of the show, question that was asked by member Ramnath Thakur from Ministry of Home Affairs. The member asked whether it's a fact that incidents of martyrdom of Jawans have come down on account of Article 370 and 35A of the Constitution of India by the government.
And soon there will be first anniversary of abrogation of Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir. So this question and answer assumes paramount importance, and let's see what the government has replied. So the government says that the incidents of martyrdom of security force personnel have come down by 73% in Jammu and Kashmir after Article 370 and 35A and other constitutional ambiguities were effectively removed on 5th and 6th of August 2019, while reorganizing the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir into the new territory of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. While 82 security personnel were martyred during the period of 173 days from 13th of February 2019 till 4th of August 2019, 22 security personnel were martyred during the similar period of 173 days from 5th of August 2019 till 24th of August 2020. And let's move on to the next question that was asked by member Mahesh Podar, and this question pertains to the Ministry of Home Affairs. And member Podar has asked the government about under trials languishing in different jails in the country and also about their condition.
When replying to this significant query, the ministry said that National Crime Records Bureau, the NCRB, compiles prison statistics reported to it by states and union territories and publishes the same in its annual report titled Prisoner Statistics in India. The latest published report is of the year 2018. Now, as per the data compiled by the NCRB, there is no significant increase in percentage of numbers of under trial to total number of prisoners in the last 5 years. Now, National Legal Service Authority has informed the under trial review committees that have been established in every district and have been functioning effectively. Now, as per information received by the NALSA, or the National Legal Service Authority, from the state legal service authorities from January 2019 to September 2019, more than 2,923 meetings were held by these review committees and 1,262 under trial prisoners were released on the recommendation of this committee.
And joining us on the Question Hour show through virtual platform is Rajya Sabha MP Mr. Mahesh Podar. Mr. Podar, welcome to Rajya Sabha Television. You're joining us through virtual platform. Thank you so much for speaking to Rajya Sabha Television, sir.
No, first of all, let me thank Rajya Sabha TV for taking this initiative during these days when the sessions are not taking place because of COVID-19. I'm sure that this is a good way to connect people with the Parliament, though it's not able to sit there. And I'm sure that this will become very popular. And I must thank you personally also for that.
Thanks a lot, sir. But as you know that our show focuses on the important unstarred questions asked by the members of the upper house in the last session, and talking about the last session of Rajya Sabha, you asked a very pertinent question about under trials languishing in different parts of India. Certainly a very important issue, sir.
See, the matter of under trials is an issue which is there for a long time, and again Supreme Court, judiciary, everybody has, and the social activists, everybody has been talking about under trials. So I had raised this issue to know if and why there should be under trials, number of under trials keep on increasing. It has been replied that the ratio between the total number of prisoners and the under trials has not increased since last 5 years. That may be true, and that's happy to note that. But yet, in absolute numbers, I'm not able to get clear reply whether absolute numbers have gone up or not. That should be the issue. My other concern will be that in 9 months of 2019, the review committees all over the country, and they have formed the review committees in all the districts, but they have done something like 2,900 meetings, but only 1,200 and odd prisoners have been released. Now, this is something which we should be worrying about, and the government should take note of. That why these people are not able to release more number of people, because we know that for very minor offences and for want of some zamanatdar, people are languishing in the jails, and we have some kind of overcrowding in almost all the jails. So now this is either their hands are tied or the laws are not permitting them. So it should be reviewed, and they should be given more free hand to release prisoners who are not detrimental to the cause of society. And I think that is what, if my question is able to draw attention of the government towards this issue, which is of social concern, I think I'll be happy.
So you've also voiced concern over the condition of these under trials.
Yeah, that's true. See, if there are place for and facilities for 100 people in the jail, and you put stuff something like 300 or 400 people, so there has to be inconvenience and intolerable conditions. But the system has been tolerating it. But I'm sure this government, which is focusing on each and every aspect of the governance, will take note of it and do something concrete. Because first step has been done. The review committees have been formed into all the districts of the country. That's a very big thing to happen. And these committees are meeting regularly. Now, the only way you can, and the easier way, would be to release the under trial prisoners, because you know that many times we hear the story, and you media people are also very rightly highlighting that the punishment which for a crime is supposed 2 years, but that person has languished in the jail for 5 years. So there are examples which come, but it should not be happening. Okay, so I think, and even the numbers go down, that automatically the conditions of the jail will improve.
And before we end this conversation, Mr. Poddar, what are your suggestions to the government?
My specific suggestions that the committees which have been meeting frequently, their proceedings should be reviewed. That why they are not able to release, in case some laws or rules are to be changed, they have to be given more free hand. We should give them, because the idea is that for a small offences, people should not be remaining under trial for a longer period.
Well, absolutely, sir. That's a very important point that you're making. But thank you so much for joining us through virtual platform and sharing all those important details with Rajya Sabha Television, sir.
Thank you.
Well, moving on to next question that was asked by member Ajay Pratap Singh from Ministry of Petroleum. The member asked whether the government is considering to bring any special plan to reduce country's oil import dependence, and if so, what are the details?
And in the written response, the government says that Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas is working in collaboration with various central government, ministries, state governments, stakeholders to make efforts to achieve reduction in import dependency of oil. The import reduction strategy broadly includes increasing domestic production of oil and gas, improving energy efficiency and productivity, giving thrust on demand substitution, promoting biofuels and using alternate fuels or renewables. The government further says that it has taken several steps to enhance exploration and production of oil and gas in the country, which include policy for relaxations, extensions and clarifications under production sharing contract regime for early monetization of hydrocarbon discoveries, discovered small field policy, hydrocarbon exploration and licensing policy, policy for extension of production sharing contracts, policy for early monetization of coal bed methane, setting up of national data repository, appraisal of unappraised areas in sedimentary basins, reassessment of hydrocarbon resources, policy framework to streamline the working of production sharing contracts in pre-NELP or NELP blocks, policy to promote and incentivize enhanced recovery methods for oil and gas, policy framework for exploration and exploitation of unconventional carbons under existing production sharing contracts, coal bed methane contracts and also nomination fees. So Rajat, let's take a short break, but on the other side, we'll get more questions and answers for our viewers. Welcome back, you're watching the Question Hour show, and now let's focus on the next question that was asked by member KJ Alphonse, and this question pertains to the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. And member Alphonse has asked the government about the action it has taken for implementing the National Action Plan for Drug Demand Reduction.
Well, giving a detailed response, the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment said it has formulated and is implementing a National Action Plan for Drug Demand Reduction for the year 2018 to 2025. The plan aims at reduction of adverse consequences of drug abuse through multi-pronged strategy. The activities under the program include awareness generation programs in schools, colleges, universities, workshops and seminars with parents, community-based peer-led interaction, intervention programs for vulnerable adolescent and youth in community, provisioning of treatment facilities and capacity building of service providers. The ministry has also approved the proposal of National Drug Dependence Treatment Centre, All India Institute of Medical Sciences NDDTC aims for providing financial assistance for establishment of addiction treatment facilities at 125 government hospitals in phased manner for over a period of 3 years, and also an amount of 6.46 crore has been released to AIIMS for the same during 2019-20. And lastly, the National Institute of Social Defence's Technical Resource Agency for implementing the activities of the NAPDDR across the country. Well, moving on to next question that was asked by member Jose K. Money from Ministry of Labour and Employment. The member asked about the status of implementation of Unorganized Workers Social Security Act 2008.
While giving an elaborate response to this question, the government says that in order to provide social security benefits to the workers in the unorganized sector, including rural and agricultural labourers, government has enacted the Unorganized Social Security Act 2008. This Act stipulates formulation of suitable welfare schemes for unorganized workers on matters relating to life and disability cover, health and maternity benefits, old age protection, any other benefit as may be determined by the central government from time to time. Life and disability cover is provided through Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana and Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana to the unorganized workers. Now, depending upon their eligibility, the basis is decided, and Government of India and state governments pay the annual premium in equal share. The health and maternity benefits are addressed through Ayushman Bharat scheme. For old age protection in the form of monthly pension, Government of India has recently launched Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Man Dhan. Under this scheme, minimum assured monthly pension of 3,000 rupees will be provided to the unorganized workers after attaining the age of 60 years. Prescribed monthly contribution is payable by the beneficiary, and the equal matching contribution is made by the central government. Every welfare scheme has separate monitoring mechanism. Now let's move on to the next question that was asked by member Vijay Pal Singh Tomar, and this question pertains to the Ministry of Tourism. And the member has inquired about Indian tourism industry's share in global tourism market.
Well, an important question indeed, and in the elaborate answer, the Ministry of Tourism replied that estimated share of India in international tourist arrivals and world tourism receipts during 2018 were 1.24% and 1.96% respectively. The Ministry of Tourism has taken various steps to increase tourist inflow in the country, which include several steps. Now, these include extended e-visa facility to citizens of 170 countries, the Incredible India 2.0 campaign, or another version of Incredible India campaign launched with market-specific promotional plans and content creations, 24/7 toll-free multilingual tourist helpline launched in 12 languages including 10 international languages and Hindi and English, organization of annual International Tourism Mart for promotion of tourism in northeastern states, Promotion of activities in tourist generating market overseas through India Tourism Office abroad with active participation in international tourism events. Events like Paratan Parv or Bharat Parv have been organized to promote Dekho Apna Desh concept. And lastly, as per the World Travel and Tourism Council report on economic impact 2018 for India, international tourist arrivals in India are expected to reach about 30.5 million by the year 2028. Well, moving on to last question of this edition of the show, and that was asked by member Amar Patnaik from Ministry of Earth Sciences. The member asked whether the government has implemented the use of AI, that is artificial intelligence based technologies, and whether forecasting prediction models for the IMD.
The response given by the government to the question asked by member Patnaik is in negative, and the government says that the research on the potential feasibility of use of artificial intelligence based technologies for weather forecasting is in nascent stage all over the world. The outcomes may help to integrate the AI approach with existing numerical weather prediction models and other simulation models to make the weather forecast operational. Ministry of Earth Sciences has now initiated the efforts towards the application of AI-based technologies in weather prediction models. Now, research proposals for projects in artificial intelligence that are being solicited by the ministry. Currently, Indian Met Department or IMD generates forecasts by using different sets of state-of-the-art numerical weather prediction models for different spatial and temporal scales. And also, IMD has specific models for prediction of intensity, crack and storm surge associated with cyclones. So, Rajat, these were the important questions and answers in this edition of the Question Hour show.
Well, thanks Kriti, and thanks to your viewers for watching this edition of Question Hour. Keep watching Rajya Sabha TV. Thank you.